Hi, this is Alex from phpacademy.org, back with another video for the new Boston. Now, in the user system, we have completed everything and we have sorted out the form validation. Now, there's a few points that we need to address before we continue any further. Let's just go back to our code and have a look, and then we're going to run the web page so we can see what the output of everything is. Okay, so at the moment we have our form here, which is actually re-echoing our data that's already been submitted in the form, which is fair enough. So when the user submits a username, let's say Alex, a password which we're not saving just for security reasons, and then a first name, let's say Alex, and then Garrett. Now what happens if they haven't submitted this data? We're just echoing it out as a variable, so we're just echoing out username, and then we're just echoing out first name, and then just surname. We're not saying has this data been submitted or not. And we also have another issue in, let's just open core.inc.php. We've got this HTTP referrer here. Now, obviously, the HTTP referrer is going to give us the page that we were referred from. So therefore, if we were to open up our page and we were to go over to the register.php file, register.php, you can see that we are given a variety of errors. Now the error at the top is to do the HTTP referrer. It gives us an undefined index error, and what this means is that we have this variable here equal to an undefined index. This has not been defined anywhere because we haven't been referred from anywhere. If we had, say, a link on index.php and we were linking to this register page, then we would be able to have a referrer information would be sent. So how do we go and solve this problem? Well, it's quite simple. All we need to do is we need to come down a bit and we need to use an if statement to check if this here is already set before we define it. So let's just come up here and we'll say if is set, much like when we were doing the form validation on the register.php page, $_server and then HTTP referrer. So we're doing exactly the same thing. We're just saying, is it set? Has this been set? And we wrap that in the block. We could also say and not empty HTTP referrer, just for added peace of mind, I guess. This part here isn't important necessarily, but it just means, is it set and is it not empty? Remember, we're using the exclamation mark for not. Then we set the variable. So we only set this variable here if we've performed these checks correctly and this block is run. So therefore we're not going to receive an undefined index error because we're not setting a variable to something that doesn't exist, because these checks up here do the existence check for us. So let's go back and refresh. Okay, you can see that error's gone. Let's go back to the index page that core is included in as well, and you'll see that the error's gone as well. So we've solved part of our problem. Now you've probably noticed back on register.php we've got exactly the same error message. We've got here, notice undefined variable username in, and then it will tell us all of our information. This is a PHP error, but because we've echoed it out, let's just go down. Because we've echoed it out in the value property of our input type here, or our input field, it's given it to us with its HTML data. We've got the same here as well. Notice undefined variable first name, notice undefined variable surname. So how do we go about doing this? Well, we say that the exact same process applies to this code here. Then we've just changed this here. So what we need to do is we need to say if, and then we start a block. So the block, if the condition is true, we're executing or running rather this block here. So if is set username, echo that, and then that's it. that solved our problem. So if is set username, then echo username, otherwise don't. We can put the and doesn't equal is not empty, but it's not terribly important for now. So let's refresh, and you can see that that's disappeared from there, so we've solved that one. Now let's just go down and correct the others. So we're using inline PHP here, we're saying if, and then we're, oh no, sorry, I've missed the echo there. So we put that echo back in the right place there. Then we need to obviously close our block. So again, if is set first name. So the type of error you see, you just need to look at it carefully and think, undefined variable. We have an undefined variable. Now, why might it be that we have undefined surname? Just look through your code, just examine your code and see what's happening. Obviously, we haven't submitted the form, so we've created these variables for ourselves to be able to use username, password. Now that we're using this username, first name and surname, what it's doing is it's grabbing data from post that hasn't actually been submitted. We're not posting the first name when we just land on register.php. So we need to incorporate checks that deal with errors like this, because the last thing you want to do is to be dealing with or showing these errors to your users.